first board, you know, I kind of can remember it was my dad's longboard for sure, and I just remember it had like this seahorse design on it, and I remember thinking that was like the raddest thing ever. I was like, that's so sick, I'm riding a seahorse board. We started surfing in Dana Point. Like my brothers and I grew up just over there, and we started surfing a place called Doheny, which is like this really mellow kind of Waikiki style beach or wave. And so the wave just, I mean, we'd surf it and was like maybe like this big, you know, like super small. We were only like probably 4 or 5 years old, so we were like micro human beings, you know? So we were just so psyched, like, oh, this is sick. And like my dad would be on the outside and put us on this huge longboard, so this huge plank, and he'd push us like one at a time, push us in, and we'd ride like a ripple. It wasn't even breaking. We'd be surfing, and we're like, oh, this is so sick. And then the wave would just fizzle out, and then we'd finish, and our mom would grab us and turn around and like push us back out. And so then we moved, our family moved to San Clemente when we were in 4th grade, so we were probably like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years old, somewhere in there. And San Clemente was notorious for just having the best surfers, like the most radical surfers that existed at the time. So guys from like the Fletchers, the Beshens, the McNultys, you know, these guys were just running the show in the professional world of surfing. And so we just kind of like moved here, and we're tripping on the waves. They're so much more powerful and more radical. And then we're surfing with these guys and just going, what? Like, that's what you can do? And you know, that kind of sculpted, I think, where we ended up. I mean, I felt comfortable always on a surfboard, but I think there's just different degrees of it, you know, like, because we were so small, we could stand, it was like a stand-up paddleboard, so it was like pretty much like walking on land, you know, the thing wasn't really moving too much, and I guess in that sense, it felt comfortable, and you just kind of every day gained a little bit more of, you know, comfortability in the ocean, I think was the main thing, just going, these waves, they look big, they look bigger than you think you can handle, and then you take a bad wipe out and you come up and you feel like, okay, you know, that wasn't too bad. And I remember, let's see, well, definitely when we go to Doheny, I mean, when you, like now when I go to Doheny, I look at it and I just like laugh. It's not, to me, it's not really even a wave, although it is a wave, but it's just so gutless and small. And I remember as a kid, just like, we'd have these mornings super early, it'd be me, my brother Dane, and my dad. We're like running down, I've got like my trunks on under the wetsuit. I'm just psyching so hard. I'm like, it's on, it's like freezing. And then I'd see the first wave and just be like, oh, it's too gnarly. And then I have to shit. Like I always had to shit. I was like, fuck, I just gotta go to the bathroom, Dad. And he's like, dude, come on, hold it, you're going surfing. And then you just get the worst wipe out ever. And I remember like, I had a couple of really bad like donuts. And then I remember like, I think I even shit myself one time. Like proper, in my wetsuit, was just so baffled. I was so freaked out by the waves. I'm like, fuck, that sucks. And anyways, I mean, that's like super classic at the end because Dad had to handle it. And, but you know, it's like just getting donuts out there is epic. And then after that, you feel more comfortable and for sure embarrassed. You know, everyone on the beach is probably laughing at you, whatever, but it's like, hey, you're still soaked on surfing, so it's all good at the end of the day, you know. Biggest challenges would probably be, at least when I was younger, for sure getting to the beach, because I always felt like you had to rely on someone for a ride, or like call your buddies and be like, what up, like, can you pick me up, let's do this. And then I think as you grew older, probably was breaking boards, because I was growing so fast, you know, everyone was going through puberty, and like, all of a sudden you're like a foot bigger like 2 months later, and your board that was perfectly sized is all of a sudden like way too small. The surf stoke is so contagious. I think once people get in the water at all levels, you just start craving it. You just can't get enough of it.